What's up guys, it's Project, and I hope everyone had a wonderful holiday this month. And to kick off the new year, how about a new video? This time I'll be covering equipment in Epic 7. For my Neo fans out there, you'll be very familiar with the equipment system in this game, and very familiar with how dreadful the grind was pre-Reforged system. Well, it's even worse in this game. But hopefully this guide explains the basics and also sets you on a path to being as efficient as possible. First up are sets. Yes, this game has sets where wearing multiple pieces of a set grants a bonus effect. Take the attack set for example, which requires you to wear a total of 4 attack pieces to activate its effect, which grants 35% attack increase. You have 6 total equipment slots, which means you can wear at most a 4-piece and a 2-piece set, or 3 2-piece sets. You should always aim to activate sets. Don't just jumble your equipment with random sets that aren't activated just because they have decent stats on them for your hero. Common set combinations are attack and crit, or speed and crit. For healers, it's generally triple HP, and for units that rely on debuffs like Tenebria, hit set is what you want, usually alongside speed set. Speed equals more turns over time, which means more chance for debuffs. For units relying on debuffs, aim for around 55% effectiveness, and then you can focus on other stats. The crit damage set is the endgame goal. It'll provide the most damage for DPS units because it multiplies all your damage, but getting high crit chance and attack alongside it is out of reach for most. So just settle for attack and crit or lifesteal set for your DPS units. Next up are stats. I'll split it into 2 parts, main stat and substat. The main stat is the default stat, the first line on the equipment. The main stat is less important for gears on the left side of the window because they are set in stone. Weapon will always give flat attack, helmet will always give flat health, and chest will always give flat defense. Equipment tiers, now changed to item levels, are what affect the main stat, but like I said, item level is pretty unimportant for the left side. However, right side equipment, that is amulet, rings, and boots, these are where the primary stat is perhaps the most important because it can give some ridiculous high percentages at higher levels. So as a reminder, left side tiers are irrelevant for the main stat, but on the right side,
it's really special. In fact, you could say it's super awesome and special.
And finally, to wrap up stat talk, it's time for substats. These are random on equipment, and the number of substats that appear are affected by rarity. Rarities are the common, blue, green, purple, and finally red, which is epic, background colors of equipment. Common will have 0 substats, green will have 1, so on and so forth, with the max being 4 for red. When enhancing equipment, you'll gain a new substat every 3 levels, if that equipment hasn't reached the max amount of substats, aka 4. After reaching 4, however, it'll then start upgrading the substats themselves to higher numbers. This is why red rarity is the best, since you get the maximum amount of stat enhancements, which makes them the most powerful, but obviously the hardest to get. The max level an equipment can be upgraded to is plus 15, so that's 5 enhancements for red rarity, 4 for purple, yada yada. Moral of this talk is purple and red are the best rarities and honestly are the only ones worth upgrading past plus 6. The exception being amulets, rings, and Yeezys because upgrading raises their main stat number each level. So you can do fine with getting a blue rarity for them if their main stat is desirable, or if they're level 85 or higher from the secret shop after reaching rank 50. An amulet with crit chance main stat is a huge boost in your damage output and CP, and will overshadow any amazing substats on a level 69 or lower ammies without crit chance main stat. But back to substats, when enhancing, the substat that gets enhanced after reaching 4 substats is random. So only one of the 4 substats gets upgraded every 3 levels afterwards, and it's randomized each time, and even has a range increase, meaning you could roll a low enhancement or a high one. This is where the true RNG begins, and your hell starts as well, since now not only must you get a gear with a purple or red rarity, gotta get a high item level, but you then also have to get the stats you need on them, and then on top of all that, you gotta pray to the goddess she upgrades the stats you want most 4 or 5 times when enhancing, and that you get the max enhancement roll most of the time. So in my opinion, if you're not planning to be super hardcore with this game over months of playing, as long as the stats and item levels are the ones you want, don't stress too much on what gets enhanced. The best substats are pretty straightforward. Flat sucks, percent's where it's at, so you want attack and crit chance percent on DPS heroes, health and defense percent on healers or tanks, flat speed on speed heroes like Sid or Diana, etc, etc. You can't get attack percent on chest piece, but you can get crit chance and crit damage, so try getting those for your DPS heroes. Flat is not calculated before percent, it's added after percent increases, hence why flat sucks so bad. This naturally means that percent increases only affect the base stats of a character, so try to get gear with percent increases that your characters scale best at. You can check a hero's base stats by looking at their journal entry, and the rest should be straightforward. Now onto upgrading. Upgrading gear costs a crap ton the higher item level and rarity it gets, as well as removing them off characters, so just prepare for a gold grind on top of this treasure hunt. Only upgrade gears past +9 with charms, it's more gold efficient. Charms can be bought with ancient coins for accessories, you can buy them with conquest points for everything, you can also buy some through the special event quests like the Kisi one going on now, and you can also obtain some from the challenge quests like Asaria's by farming them over and over, on top of just getting them from doing story or from opening chests in wherever. Don't bother upgrading, however, if the stats don't absolutely match up preferably. At least aim for 3 out of the 4 substats being beneficial. That way when upgrading you have a 75% chance of a good stat being enhanced. But again, right side gear being exceptions if they're level 85, upgrade them regardless of substats if you really need the main stat. So those are the basics for new players. Now, onto the strategy I recommend for all players to follow. Your main goals should be 2 things, reaching rank 50 and clearing the Abyss. These are what's going to get you your best gear to start preparing for raid, which will give you even more good gear to become even stronger. Ignore hunts besides the daily 3 for the reputation event reward. Don't waste any materials on crafting till you max out the steel workshop either. The labyrinth in general should be priority number 1 for new players. As soon as you unlock it, beeline to the golden chest in each map in the tiny areas like you see here, then unlock the next area and dip out after reaching -30 fatigue. Don't worry about 100%ing each area, be efficient. You want the good rarity gear first, and then you can farm lab or go through story at a faster pace. Red rarity gear is the only gear you should ever upgrade past +6 for a new player till you get to level 44 or higher gear. That's what I'm doing on my 4th account I made, and I've saved so much gold already and haven't even beat 1010 yet. With a good DPS or healer helper, you should have no problem clearing to 1010 with your own healer with basically no upgrades on most gear. As you can see here, I've only upgraded purple or red for most of the gear on my characters. If you're not far into the end game and still struggling to get gear, the second lab 3 to 5 areas give tier 4 Wyvern gear. Farm this as much as you can each day to get some good gear drops. Usually you'll average 3 to 4 purples each run, and over a week you'll get something good. Hunts aren't worth it in comparison unless you can do hunt 8 to 10 reliably. If you can, then of course do them, but if not, do not bother. They're not worth it and you end up wasting a lot of gold from crafting. So otherwise, Lab and Abyss are going to give you the best gear, and Abyss gives tons of materials for crafting anyways. Abyss lifesteal set is perhaps the strongest used by many of the top players because the stats are fixed and are very good ones for units that want that set, which are many. This is also why I'm stressing new players to start with a healer like Angelica or Katie's or Destina, since Abyss is really tough without one now after the Elson and Tierra nerf. The arena gear you can buy with arena points goes great on your healer. At least aim for the helm in the chest, as they got mostly good substats for them and will likely be best in slot for a long time. Reaching rank 50 allows you to get level 85 Amia rings, which are the biggest increase in stats you can have when maxed out to +15, even if it's plain rarity. Although if you can get them in higher rarities, obviously do that, but it's so rare to get blue or higher rarity with the right set and right main stat without spending hundreds of crystals refreshing that I recommend just buying a plain one for the main stat alone to start, which costs 270,000 gold. Then from there, spend around 30 crystals a day on refreshing, but only if you have around 700k gold or more in case you find something rare. It's worth noting that blue or higher rarity also affects main stat number, so if you're fishing for the highest main stat, then buy right side gear that's at least blue rarity 2, but it's obviously much harder to find with the right main stat and set. Reaching rank 50 is as simple as grinding the events till you can get all the leaves from the reputation, then afterwards go to your world stage progress or farm your catalyst there. You simply need to grind stages a lot for EXP to rank up. You'll also probably be able to 6-star one of your characters by the time you reach this rank, which is also a boost to your damage and survivability. After you've gotten your good gear, reached rank 50, and made some level 60s, then you can finally move on to hunts 8 to 10 to gear your other characters or to min-max your mains, and then you're basically set for the rest of the game till they add something more powerful. Well, that wraps up the video, guys. I know the gearing up portion of this game can be pretty daunting, so hopefully I made it better to understand what to look out for and what to do with them. But yeah, I hope you guys found the video informative. Make sure to give the video a like if you did, comment down below with any questions, and if you guys didn't know, I officially have a join button now for the channel, which is basically YouTube's equivalent to Twitch's subscribing thingy. So if you want to help the channel grow financially and are feeling generous, consider joining if you like my content, but if not, you can always subscribe for free for more Epic 7 epicness. Happy New Year's, guys. Happy good one. Happy New Year's, guys. Hope you have a good one. Happy New Year's, guys. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Come on, Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Have a Happy New Year, y'all.